Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm super duper. How are you?
Oh, I'm fabulous. I'm excited. We got a guest on the program today. I don't know if you know this, but this month, May, is National, what is it here? National Mental Illness Awareness Month. And it needs a month because I got lost. Well, we've got Wendy Giebink from NAMI. We're going to be visiting about National... what did I call it again? Mental Illness Awareness Month. I should write this down before I get to the interview. Anyway, that's nothing to laugh about.
Riveting radio.
Yeah, anyway, we'll get that. I'll make sure I know what I'm talking about then. Hey, two companies, one in Maine and one in Florida, are marketing these machines for a new fad at seafood restaurants. It's like a claw machine. Remember those things?
Yeah.
With a lobster tank inside of it.
Oh, that's just...
For $2, you get to reach in with the claw machine and grab a lobster.
And if you get a lobster, then
they cook it
was
for
only
$2. It's even harder than a regular claw machine because
the lobsters can move.
Yeah, the lobsters try to get away. The makers say, it's just good fun.
Yeah.
But a PETA spokesperson says, no, it's not. They say it's absolutely hideous to turn animal cruelty into a game. So we'll see how long these companies are around. But there's one in Maine and one in Florida, and they apparently are selling the machines quite well.
I gotta say, I would do it. I'd play them.
Wouldn't doubt that at all. All right, we got some special things happening on this Monday. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, the 16th day of May. It is Accounting Day today, which I think is really neat that it's like a month after tax day. Give them some time to rest first, then celebrate.
There you go.
It's also Biographer's Day today. It is Mimosa Day. A mimosa, isn't that champagne and OJ?
Yes.
Okay. Mimosa Day. National Piercing Day. I had my ear pierced for like 15 minutes. No, it was more like 2 hours. And then I came home and my dad said, you taking that out or am I ripping that out? I was like, I'll take it out.
I'll take it out.
And it is National Sea Monkey Day today. So celebrate with a sea monkey and an accountant and have some mimosas. That's one way to party. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like. With designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at WinThisOnline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at WinThisOnline.com.
And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you're packing on the pounds, or at least you feel like it because you're overworked, don't worry, you're not the only one. Latest government figures show that 2/3 of the country's workforce is overweight. A new report from the Families and Work Institute says that's a big part of the problem, that workers are putting in longer hours because they're afraid to lose their job right now. With less time to exercise, more than 1/3 of employees report that they're just drained of energy and it leaves them nothing whatsoever for their personal lives. At the same time, pay cuts and rising food prices, particularly for the more nutritious foods, are making fast food and vending machines food a whole lot quicker and cheaper during lunch breaks. Alan Galinsky, president of the Families and Work Institute, says there's a big relationship between our health and the kind of environment we work in, end quote. While some employers are addressing the issue by adding on-site gyms and wellness programs at work, most still do not see employee obesity as something that is their responsibility, and they're just says they're too busy just trying to keep their businesses going.
Yeah.
This is from the Miami Herald. So I got to say, I do admit that there are times that I'm going to tell you this, I'm not working long hours because I'm afraid of losing my job. I love what I do. So that's why I work long hours. But it is a lot easier, quite often, to just go grab something quick out of the vending machine or, hit a fast food place. Maybe
I also think
up
a
the
big
road.
part of the problem with the rise in obesity over the last however many years is so many jobs have turned from being laboring jobs to sedentary jobs because of technology.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're all just sitting around and you're not burning those calories. So, of course,
back when I
everybody
started
is getting...
in radio, to keep the station on the air, I had to run on this giant hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And that's what powered the station. So
No, but at least back then you were up and you were moving around. You were grabbing albums and you were grabbing carts and you were,
Albums? and then CDs, and
then
now it's all on a
CDs.
computer.
Right, now you just push a button and you sit still and you don't move.
So that's the problem
there's
right
no
there.
movement. Even in radio, it's changed.
All I know is it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A pizza delivery driver in Fargo, North Dakota, says he was assaulted because he refused to take drugs as payment for pizza. The driver, Atif Yassin, said that he thought the suspect was asleep when he arrived. He knocked a few times, then he called the cell phone. He finally got an answer. The guy came to a door in his boxers. He took the pizza and then spent some time digging around for money and finally gave up and said, "Hey, can I just pay you with marijuana?"
Wow.
Yassin said, "I'm sorry, I need money.
I can't take that back to work.
Or I got to take the pizza back." And then the man began to yell. Then he pushed him and punched him in the face. Officers who arrested the man said he was quite intoxicated. Oh, really?
No.
Are you kidding me? So there you go. The guy was apparently hungry from the drinking or the drugs, one or the other, and decided to order a pizza, but he had no dough. It's not a good plan.
No.
That's the kind of thing
It's
you
really
do, though,
not.
when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
The cops said it was drugs, but James McLean says it was just debris from a sandwich. The Bellevue, Illinois man was arrested on drug charges when he was stopped on a routine traffic infraction. Police searched McLean's car and found a suspicious-looking plastic baggie with what they thought to be drugs. The suspect argued that it was breadcrumbs from a sandwich. Police didn't go for his excuse. Upon the advice from his lawyer, McLean pled guilty and went to jail, but after 18 days, lab tests came back on the quote-unquote drugs in the baggie, and guess what? They were breadcrumbs. The judge dismissed the charges. In the process, blasted McLean's lawyers for allowing an innocent man to plead guilty. I don't understand why he would have. Why would he have said, yeah, okay, fine, it's drugs, whatever? Why would you have done that?
I don't know.
For me, I would have fought to the very end. If I knew that it was innocent, I would have said, I'm innocent. I'm not going to plead guilty. That doesn't make any sense. All I know is we have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. I'm going to make some people mad and some people happy when I read these stories, but it appears the world has stopped getting warmer. As a matter of fact, it was quite a few years ago. According to new data, they're saying global warming is no such thing. They say the figures, which have triggered a debate amongst climate scientists, reveal that from the beginning of 1997 until August of 2012, there was no discernible rise in aggregate global temperatures. Mm-hmm. So 97 to 2012. Think about things that were going on during that time. That's exactly the time frame of the big global warming push.
Yep.
So right in the midst of all of that, that's when they're going, okay.
It's all
here's
political.
the-
It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying you can make your own decision, listeners. I'm not here to make decisions for you, but I just want to give you the details. No discernible rise in aggregate global temperatures. I actually have a guest coming up. I don't know if it's this week or next week, where we're going to be talking about this kind of thing. And I had to assure them that I would not debate this man on the air. So I said, I'm going to just do an interview. They're like, well, he doesn't want to get in a debate with anybody. I'm like, I'm not going to debate. If you've listened to the show, that's Heidi that does the debate. It's not me. I'm a nice guy. Hey, Lego is a beloved toy, not an investment vehicle. That's part of many people's portfolios. According to Money website, maybe it should have been. Since the year 2000, the Danish building blocks people, Lego?
Yeah.
They've done quite well. It says in the
love
past 15
Legos.
years, the average value of Lego, the set, has gone up with, quote, pristine condition sets appreciating 12%. Meanwhile, price jumps when a model is discontinued. The set jumps up to about 36% more. During that same span, the S&P 500 raised only 4.2%, and gold had a return of 9.6%. So they're saying, if you had stuck your money in Legos rather than the stock market, you'd
Right.
actually be doing better.
I love
But
Legos.
I got to tell you this: don't pile on it now, because I got a feeling that's like Beanie Babies. At one point, if you bought Beanie Babies, it was like cha-ching if you cashed in at the right time. A lot of folks have dusty Beanie Babies
You
sitting
know
around
what?
now.
Legos have lasted a whole lot longer than Beanie
I'm just saying, I
Babies.
don't want anybody saying, well, I heard John and Heidi talk about it, so I'm putting
Yeah,
all
we're
my money
definitely
in
not
Legos.
giving financial advice. You don't want to take that from us.
Don't take it from me.
Trust me.
I can't even afford Legos. I'm just saying. I mean, to just buy one of the blocks. Authorities in Germantown, Wisconsin say a trailer full, $70,000, by the way, worth of cheese was stolen. Thieves apparently parked a truck cab nearby and then waited until the other truck drove away. They backed up, hitched onto the trailer, and split. $70,000 worth of cheese. That
I
is
like
nuts.
cheese.
I do too.
We should
It's
get
gonna
some cheese.
Probably be some cheap cheese on the market in Germantown, Wisconsin. Hey, the average U.S. adult scores about 50% on personal finance questions related to the U.S. federal income tax returns. Most Americans get these are adults, by the way, we get an F when it comes to understanding income tax basics. NerdWallet, I don't know who that is, but the respondents scored an average of 51% in a 10-question quiz on tax basics related to things like personal finance and retirement and college savings and health care. How do you think you would do?
Probably not very good.
A British study has found that hungry men are attracted to heavier women. Why do I find that very funny? Again, I'm going to read that again. That doesn't that deserve a second read?
Sure.
A British study found that hungry men are attracted to heavier women. Are they going to eat these women?
No, it's probably because they assume that they're good cooks. If
be.
they're bigger. Or that they like to eat too, so then they can eat together.
We've got something in common.
Yeah.
All right, how much food are we wasting? Are you sitting down for this?
No.
According to a recent report from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, every year 1.3 billion tons of food ends up in landfills. That is close to $1 trillion worth of food that gets thrown away. Kids, finish your food. Eat it all. Remember when I was a kid, my mom made me eat all my food. Sometimes that wasn't so easy because I was kind of a finicky eater. Were you a finicky eater, Heidi?
To a certain extent, I was, yeah, but I wasn't terrible. I wasn't as bad as
As
our
me?
son or as you. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't as bad as you at all.
Time for a strange law. In New York, the penalty for jumping off a building is death. Really? It's a strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we are giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and we reached out to Wendy Giebink with NAMI, and NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness is a national nonprofit organization. In fact, it's the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. And they provide advocacy and education and support on a national level. And then there are, of course, there's a state affiliate in every state, and there's more than 1,100 local affiliates across the country. So there are NAMI programs everywhere.
Very nice. Now, let's talk about what you do at NAMI. Again, NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. And when you hear that, you might understand it a little more than just when you hear NAMI. But what is it you guys do exactly?
Right. Well, as I said, you know, the pillars of NAMI are education, advocacy, and support. The national organization also has a 4th pillar of research. But in our state organization, we focus on the education and support aspects with some advocacy for the group as a whole. And so there are a number of different activities that fall underneath that umbrella, so to speak. One of the most important things we do is education. There's, as you know, John, there's a great deal still of stigma left, or negative stereotyping of people living with mental illness, and that's mainly due to people not really understanding the nature of mental illness and the fact that it is a medical illness and that it's not a choice or a function of your character or something like that, but it is a medical illness. So we do a lot to educate people to eradicate that stigma that still exists and might prevent people from getting help or from reaching out and talking to others. And the education takes the form of, we have our signature classes. We have a family-to-family program, which is a 12-week series of classes for family members and friends of people living with mental illness. That's an evidence-based program that is just very, very successful, has been all across the country for a number of years, and really does help people learn about mental illness and how they can be a support for their loved one, how they can take care of themselves, how they can communicate better and have a smoother family life, and also advocate for their loved one. So we have that program. We also have a NAMI Basics program, which is a similar program for parents and caregivers of children and adolescents. Those are our two main education programs, and they're very, very successful. And we also, in addition to the education programs, we have really terrific support groups that we sponsor as well. And so there's a good chance there may be a support group near you, and that's a good place to go, and again, to realize that you're not alone, and to tap into some of that group wisdom and gain some help from other people. And I wanted to let you know also, John, that there's no charge for any of our programs. They're all delivered free of charge, and you don't have to register for a support group. You can just come to that. If you're interested in having a presentation near you, at your workplace, or somewhere else in your community, just contact us. We can get that set up for you. And there are probably some education classes near you. Those do require registration, but we can help you find where they might be and who to contact.
And let's give the website and the phone number one more time.
Sure. It's NAMI.org, NAMI.org, NAMI.org. And you can find your local NAMI by going on that website. National NAMI Helpline is 1-800-950-6264.
Again, Wendy, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us here about this today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting us.
And also, thank you for doing what you do. I know you guys make a huge difference for a lot of people, and we appreciate all of the time and effort you guys put into this very, very important subject.
Thank you. And we do this because it's personal to us, too. Everyone that works with NAMI has a family experience, has a personal experience with mental health issues, and we just all want to reach out and help others in the way that we've been helped.
And again, the website is NAMI.org, NAMI.org.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Peter Falk, the guy who played Columbo, had a glass eye. Did you know that?
I did know that, actually.
I didn't know that. I remembered seeing that like one eye would kind of wander a bit, but I didn't know it was because it was glass. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Diet Coke was invented in 1981.
Really?
It seems like it's been around a lot longer than that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A U.S. dime is made of 25% nickel and 75% copper. So that's what's inside a dime. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The name of Pillsbury's Little Dough girl, not the boy, is what?
I have no idea.
Poppy. Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
Poppin' Fresh, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't know either of them had names. I thought it was
or the
Doughboy.
Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't know. Anyway, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first television broadcast of a Major League Baseball game was between the Cincinnati Reds and the Brooklyn Dodgers. What year do you reckon that was?
I have no idea.
1939.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and our final fun fact for you. Most guys say it takes between 1 and 6 months to get over a breakup. Really?
Yeah.
I can see that. Depends on how the breakup went, really.
Depends on how attached you were to begin
Some
with.
guys, it takes between 1 and 6 hours. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. All right, that's some fun facts for you on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. There will be no teaching of wizardry here, buddy. Land O'Lakes, Florida. Substitute teacher Jim Piculas was fired because school officials accused him of performing wizardry. What was this wizardry, you might ask? Well, the wizardry, or so-called wizardry in question, was nothing more than a simple magic trick where he made a toothpick disappear before his students. The school district's Pat Sinclair terminated Jim over the phone. He said, "You have been accused of wizardry." I would like to have been on that call. Jim says he's both amused and frustrated, and he's trying to explain to Sinclair that it was a magic trick. It was just a silly little trick. And he says, "I don't know what you're talking about. It's not black magic. It was a toothpick. It was just a sleight of hand maneuver that made it seem to disappear. I didn't really make it disappear. It was merely hidden behind my thumb." The assistant superintendent, Renalia DuBois, said that of the accusation, was merely one of many factors that led to Jim's termination. So they're saying, hey, it's not just this. This is just the thing that, that he remembers of the firing. Other incidents involved him diverting from the lesson plan, allowing students to use computers despite the disapproval of the regular teacher, and putting a fifth grader in charge of the classroom. Well, he practiced magic, I'm assuming. I'm not sure. So they had all that other stuff going on, too. They're saying, hey, it's not just that, Jim. That and many other things. Can you imagine getting fired for making a toothpick disappear?
I could imagine it the last time we read this story.
You are kidding me. Would you stop it?
I'm sorry. Well, you want me just to pretend like we haven't done these?
Please do. Humor me in the future. I have to scrub the internet of anything I've ever read in the past, apparently. I don't remember this at all. You do?
Yes, I remember this because we were making fun of it. We're like, seriously, it was a magic trick. Leave the guy alone.
All right. Well, thank you for ruining my day.
I'm sorry.
Coming up,
I just find it so
something
amusing.
I probably read one other time. If the price is right, that is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Advertising is all around us, Heidi. Everywhere you look, even everywhere you listen, you probably hear advertisements. A California company, though, started paying drivers about $400 a month to wrap their car in advertisement. It's called an auto wrap.
I would do that.
All over the West Coast. Now they're in Florida as well. Participants must be at least 18, drive a minimum of 1,000 miles a month, and they have to meet a long list of requirements. No moving violations during the last year. You got to sign up for a 5-year contract. You can cancel after a year with 30 days notice. If you're wondering if drivers get to choose which ads are on their car, the answer is no. However, they can refuse an ad for alcoholic beverages or cigarettes. So how would you like to get the ad on your car, that's some terrible, awful thing that you don't like? I'm not even going to say. I had like 3 things I was going to say, but I would probably make somebody mad if I said them. But just imagine something you don't believe in, and that's what's on your car.
Yeah, that would.
And
I would never drive around in a vote Bernie Sanders vehicle, for instance. So that's one thing.
See, I'm not going to go giving examples.
Or Hillary.
Would you stop now?
Or
okay. Hey,
a vehicle with a donkey on the side.
Would you stop? I think people can understand where you're coming from. As far right as possible, Heidi. So anyway, imagine getting stuck with something that you don't believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that would be awful. That would be awful.
All right, coming up, Ken says treat.
If you could turn certain things down, I would do it. It would cover the rust.
Well, all right, coming up, treats can poison your dog. Be careful. We'll tell you all about it. Most pet owners know that you're not supposed to give your dog chocolate. It's a big no-no. But here's something to chew on. A common ingredient in sugarless gum and snacks can cause a canine catastrophe, Heidi. The culprit is a sweetener called xylitol. It's Xylitol. While you may never have heard of xylitol, there's a good chance you have it in your house. Xylitol is common in sugarless gum and in sugar-free snacks. The chemical is completely safe for humans and most other animals, but dogs, not so much. Xylitol causes blood sugar levels to plummet. When blood sugar levels drop, the brain isn't getting enough energy to do its job. After swallowing xylitol, dogs may get sick, very sick, become lethargic and disoriented without treatment. And it could actually make your dog die. She's not laughing because she thinks it's funny. She's laughing because I just realized we read this. I just kept moving, but I'm pretty sure I read this one, which is why I actually know how to say xylitol. This is from a few months ago as well. I clearly need to go and clear my cookies or something. Coming up, we've got a story that we hopefully haven't told you. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like, with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
Kids, if you think you're getting too much homework, you might not want to whine to your parents about it. A new survey finds most parents say their children get just the right amount of homework, and most teachers agree. If anything, many parents and many teachers say that homework load might be a little too light nowadays. There were some other interesting results in the survey as well. They found that less educated parents spend more time helping kids with take-home assignments, and more affluent parents spend the least amount of time. Women spend an average of 46 minutes a day helping with homework. Men spend 35 minutes a day helping with homework. A majority of parents and teachers also agree the subject that the students need help with the most is math. I'll tell you the thing that's interesting in our household, our daughter hardly ever brings home homework. I mean, hardly ever.
Yeah.
And her report card just showed it recently.
Exactly.
She's got some time to get it fixed.
With her.
So she's working on that. But I'll tell you, the funny thing is, when she has a question for homework, she doesn't come to me. She knows me. She doesn't come to Heidi. She goes to our son. Our son is actually a pretty smart dude.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, so she goes in and she's like, hey, I got a question. Now, if it happens to be about math, I don't think she would ask him. But she certainly does if it has to do with history or science or history. Anything that he's interested in. He's the kind of guy that if it's something he's interested in,
he will learn everything about everything.
He knows everything about it. So it's really kind of fun. And it's we get into some interesting arguments at our household about the dumbest things. So anyway, if you think your kids are getting the right amount of homework, you should ask them, hey, do you think you get the right amount of homework? They probably say too much, but most parents and teachers agree just the right amount. We've got good news coming your way in a bit.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up with some good news around here, and I think this is good news. It says job growth might be slowing overall, but it is surging for new college graduates. And that's just in time because there's a lot of college students graduating. According to NPR, employers added 160,000 employees in April, downshifting from the monthly average of 192,000. That's so far this year. But the country does have one group that's enjoying a lot of opportunities, newly minted college grads. In fact, economists say this might be the best time to graduate from college in a decade. That's good news, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Overall, unemployment rates held steady at 5% last month, but the Labor Department says the rate is only about half that for college graduates. So they're saying if you're a college graduate, now could be a phenomenal time for you to find a job. So
there you go.
A recent college grad. That's really good news.
That is good news.
Kids that are graduating. For the rest of us, maybe it's not such good news. Here's the thing that I will say. If you want a job, there's probably one out there for you somewhere. You know, there's some people that maybe they're, I don't know, if you're looking for a job, if there's, you know, trying to think of the right way to say it, don't be too proud to take something. You know, I wouldn't be. I'm saying if I didn't have this job, Heidi's looking at me like she's going to fire me right now. So am I fired? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay. I'm just saying if I was no longer here, I would not be too proud to do anything. So I just think it's an interesting report. And like I said, we'll look at that as good news. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll throw the info on that, by the way, if you're trying to get some details on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. You can go there to win some cool stuff. WinThisOnline.com. A new poll indicates 20% of born-again Christians will not vote in November. Christian Headlines reports a poll that says 20% of born-again Christians in the poll said that they would not vote in the election if it's between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. CNN poll finds that more than half of the voters they talked to said, I'm not voting for anybody, I'm voting against somebody.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we've got this time
and
around.
that is kind of crazy. So I'm going to throw, now it's like, who do I dislike the most? I'm voting against that person. I'm going to throw this online if you want to check it out. And you can check it out at the link at the our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And for those of you who are interested in politics, I try to not talk politics here on the radio or on our podcast. But if you do want to hear me talk politics, you can check out the website, politicalstorm.com. I'm a contributor there. I contribute things. You've been a part of it a little bit. You want to do a podcast? Anything you want to talk about there? All kinds of fun stuff.
I have all sorts of things I can say, but
we could get Heidi all fired up. But that website, again, is politicalstorm.com. You want to check that out. And one final story for our bonus break. A Bristol, England Crown Court has sentenced David Carlisle to 4 years in prison for trying to steal dog poop.
Oh.
He had stopped a woman who was walking her dog, threatened her with a knife, demanded the bags.
Oh, with the knife. That's a little different.
She told him, hey, these are full of dog poop. Well, he fled empty-handed. He was pleading in court for mercy because I only tried to steal dog poop. The judge says, well, this is a testament to your incompetence.
Yeah.
So, sentenced him to 4 years in prison. What you in for? Trying to steal dog poop. How about you? Can't even imagine how awful that would be. All right, there you go. There's a couple of fun little things for our bonus break. Brought to you by our good friends at WinThisOnline.com, where the winning is just the beginning. Check it out. Learn more at WinThisOnline.com.